Well, like I think this is my most important question. It was sort of like hinted at in the beginning, and I purposely avoided it. But like, so do you believe in humanity? Do you think we have a chance?
And we've only got 2 minutes.
In the broadest sense. In the broadest sense,
Jesus.
in the broadest of senses.
Well, Schraub, what am I supposed? What do you think my job is here? I gotta ask that. You know, I gotta ask.
I gotta sleep tonight. What are you doing?
Well, so he's flattering you. He's saying whatever you say is going to affect him by big time.
Well, let me. So a thought I have sometimes is that, let's see if I can do a pessimist and an optimist version. A thought that I have sometimes is that the amount of time that we have been on Earth in our current form, right, like the modern world, right, is so short, right? Our population has gone up by I don't know. I forget when the Earth had 1 billion people on it as opposed to 7, but it was less than 200 years ago, right? And so the amount of explosion is massive. And if you saw any population of any creature expand that much in that short of a time, you'd be like, this might not end well, right? Like
giraffes going from 1 billion to 7 billion giraffes.
Yeah, exactly.
They would fuck it up at 4 billion giraffes easy.
And exactly.
They'd be like, well, I invented a new kind of tree that's artificially tall because you gotta justify the neck.
They can't eat fruit.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you.
No, that's exactly my example.
I'm often stricken by that. It just feels like it's almost like where where complete absolute cynicism and optimism meet, where it's like there's 8 billion of us. We're horrible people. Like when those lights went out in New York like decades ago, and it was like everybody was like, oh, there she goes, there goes New York, and then the lights came on the next morning, and they're like, we ate all the ice cream before it melted.
I was in New York during a blackout, and it was kind of nice.
I like so few. Like we're not as bad as.
But at the same time, okay, so that's like the worst vision of humanity, right? And in that vision, we're like we're almost like a bacterial infection that found too much like substrate that would allow it to grow, right? Like we're growing at this rapid pace in this unsustainable way, and the crash is a coming, right? And that's how I feel sometimes. Then I feel other times that I think the humanist worldview doesn't get enough credit sometimes for how beautiful it is, because I feel like atheists people who want to call themselves atheists don't give this view often enough, because if you're looking at the world in those terms, right, that we live in a natural world where things happen because of chemical reactions, and that life is essentially a complex chemical reaction, right? Humanity is a chemical reaction that's so complex that not only it actually escaped the bounds of biological evolution and began a process of cultural evolution, where the rate at which we're growing and the rate at which we're changing, the rate at which our species has changed is orders of magnitude faster than any species that has ever changed before, right? Because we've created this process of cultural evolution where things are happening in our minds and through language.
Mimetic evolution has taken over.
Yeah, that is like incredibly rapid, and that's something that, to our knowledge, has never happened anywhere in ever, right? And that makes us the most, undoubtedly, the most remarkable thing to ever happen in the entire universe.
Certainly, as far as we've seen.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable that, and it again, it's just chemical reactions like building upon each other, complexity creating more complexity, creating more complexity, creating more complexity. And so that is the mere fact of our existence is the most beautiful truth in the natural world. And as a result, it kind of maybe, I was going to say it doesn't matter what we do. It does, because we still need to behave ethically towards each other and try to improve the world that we're in. But the fact of our existence is so marvelous that it's difficult to even comprehend. That's my positive view.
I just spoke to Elon Musk about this. You're welcome. We were just having the same conversation, and he touched on this thing that I was like a Canadian cartoonist, my friend Stephen Notley, who you can hear here on the podcast. He introduced to me a million years ago, which was this idea of information as a field, i.e., an organism in its own right. Although it doesn't meet our definitions of living, but it does meet our definitions of wants to be. and that information as a field, it goes. It's like if you look at just us as a sort of patsy, I guess you'd call it, that molecular. Molecular bumpage leads to cosmic RNA, leads to life, leads to competition between giraffes and beavers, leads to us having eyebrows and having podcasts. But the whole point of it is that we invented hard drives because we've got our cells are bursting with information. The reason we have these chromosomes are just like so tightly wound. It's like comical. Yeah. It's like, how can you have information that way? And the answer is we barely can whenever you fuck and like the shuffle has to happen. The ballet of information having to unwind and then rewind in your baby's cells. It's like, it's gotten to a point where it's like enough is enough. Coincidentally, right at the time when we're also smart enough to make new ways for information to go on. And my big fear was always, and look, I'm just gonna say Elon shared it. So
wow.
New share.
He made your solar panels in your cars, and like, but I said, well, we're just like these, like what we're experiencing right now could be intersected with like the kind of it's like we could be coming to a point where everyone who's an atheist and everyone who's like a fundamentalist could actually both agree that it's over, but the atheists are agreeing because it's like, well, our species was never anything more than basically like a boot drive, like a weird kind of like intermediary. Like, what do I got to work with? Sir, you have, it's like time bandits. You get the assistant to the guy that's like trying to devise a universe. And like, you have hydrogen, you have these like certain amount of atoms. It's like, all right, well, arrange them in a way that makes them, when they bump into each other, want to make more of the things that bumped into each other. And it's like, and then just give it a trillion, zillion, gazillion years until it gets to a point where, okay, finally we got like plants and furry things like crawling around, and they all want to like, now they've got the agenda driven. It's like it's on autopilot. So if you're a god at this point, you've walked away a long time ago. But you're growing basil in your flower box, and it's like going. But it's like because all it's doing is just going like, look, I got one. Every living thing is just going. I gotta beat every other living thing. I gotta fuck more. But all of it is like bent towards this apex where you and I are like, oh, I need to know how to make eyeglasses and this microchip and this thing and this alphabet, and that we have gotten finally right to the point where what we're experiencing is an actual spiritual abandonment of our original quest. Sorry,
Elon said this.
No, he did. I don't want to throw him under the bus because I know this is me projecting on his shit. I don't want him to, I don't want to miscredit anybody.
What do you mean?
What my fear is that we are, as primates, we are at the event horizon of biologically going, okay, what's next? But the information is going like, nothing's next for you, you fucking footman. You fucking sky cap. Peace. Here's your $5. It's actually a coupon from where we're going. Like you can't even spend it, and we're like, whoa, and that is violence. That is nihilism. Like that we're at a crossroads where we could actually. My theory is, if we could actually just recalibrate for a second and realize that we are direct descendants of chimpanzees and that by their standards, we are gods, and just stop. Like, could we have a conversation with a chimpanzee tonight? And they would go, what's wrong? And we would go, well, we got a lot to do. And they're like, whoa, slow down, Jack. I can't even talk. How many spotted leopards are hunting you? And we'd be like, well, the spotted leopard of nuclear annihilation. And it's like, whoa, hey, you made that up. Don't say. And eventually the conversation would end with the chimpanzee going, you're crazy. I'm going to go have an orgy. because I learned to fuck, and I'm gonna go extinct because of you. Not because of me, not because fucking's wrong, and not because grooming's wrong, and not because and if we could just realize, like we've eliminated the spotted leopard.
Yeah.
The wolves are fetching our slippers. We control the weather. If it rains, we don't have to give a shit.
We don't control the weather.
We affect it.
I just want to. That's the only part we're going to jump in. Well, we affect the weather. We do not control it.
But according to a chimpanzee, like, we do, because a chimpanzee can't just go indoors. We invented indoors. We do control chimpanzees' definition of weather. Mm-hmm. We can change it from raining to not raining by stepping to the left 3 feet. Chimpanzees could only do that to a certain degree.
What I'd say to that is that
you always bragging about how you better than chimpanzees.
I think it's time. I think we've gotten that low. Come here. I think that's going to be my movement. Just compare yourself to a chimpanzee. You're rich. You're happy.
What I'd say to that, and what I'd say to Elon Musk if he was sitting here, is
I don't want my money
that
back.
there's like this concern. There's like this concern that we are that the bad thing is something we're gonna do, like we're worried about, we're worried about building AI, or worried about like building the next level, or you know what I mean? And I'm concerned about the things that we're doing right now, right? That like we're destabilizing like weather systems and climate systems right now, and that we're currently building. A lot of people are like afraid, like, oh, the AI is going to take over, and it's like going to come to consciousness. It's going to Skynet us, But there's this writer, James Bridle, who wrote a book called New Dark Age, and it's all about how we're building these systems that they're not AI. They're not like hard AI that's like, trying to kill us or whatever. They're just systems that we've built that we don't understand, right? That like the YouTube algorithm. Like the YouTube algorithm is currently giving people, misinformation, conspiracy theories, hateful shit, right? That's what's like being bred on YouTube. And nobody knows why, right? Because we don't understand the YouTube algorithm, and the YouTube people were just trying to get people to click more, right? That's all that they were doing, right? And so like that is that's the problem of technology that I would wish we were focusing on rather than the Skynet problem. You know what I mean? Like we have so much that we are like fucking up currently on a daily basis, just in how we treat each other on a basic level.
I guess if I were a doomsday person, I would say an argument. But your point is better. If I was arguing, I would say, well, no, that's the point of worrying about the future, is that you do backwards math to what you need to do today. So you go, these computers gonna take our jobs, and then today you need to take a ball peen hammer and you just smash a computer. At least that's something to do. And I'm kind of advocating for the chimpanzee model, because I'm like, today we could just look at a chimp before they're extinct and go, what do you think? And their unspoken answer would be, you guys are nailing it. You have nailed it. You need to stop nailing it.
Stop making more shit.
I understand the alarm instinct has made you guys like very successful, but you are alarmed by each other now, which makes no sense. You're alarmed by nothing. Yeah. You're alarmed by silence. You're alarmed by happiness.
Yeah.
You're